Hello, my friends. Welcome to Monday and the Coffee Run Live. We are rocking a different do today. I haven't worn my hair like this in, I don't know, feels like forever. So I thought, right, what better way to see how I feel about it than to try it? So I think it might be changed later on through the day because it's driving me freaking crazy. So what I wanted to talk with you about today is mindset, right? And I know that this is something that is that we all deal with, we all face, the mindset to carry on, the mindset to market. Hi, Tani. The mindset to keep showing up when things aren't going our way. Now, I've just seen a photo this morning of, is it Conor McGregor? I think is his name, the UFC fighter, who had Tony Robbins in his corner. It might be the coffee rum. You could be right. It is the coffee rum. Oh my Lord, I will have to change that, Tony. So funny. So we know that the history, some of you may or may not be familiar, but the history of this dude is like quite similar to a lot of us. We go through, we get some wins on the board, we have some success, and then, you know, something kind of happens. And I think this guy hasn't had a win since 2017, if I remember this correctly. I don't follow UFC, I don't follow the fights, but it was just what I saw. So I think he hasn't had a win since then. And there were photos of him post-fight with Tony Robbins cheering him on and doing all that kind of stuff, which I think is really, really cool. But I guess what it got me thinking about is that, most of the time, the things that we think about when it comes to mindset is, I've got to do it on my own, I've got to do this, that, and the other. Well, you really want to have someone in your corner. I mean, if we're looking at some of the best athletes in the world, they've got coaches, they've got teams of people. Now, I know that some of you might not have the luxury, the privilege, the whatever of having someone like Tony or me, on tap to go, hey, dude, I feel like throwing it all in. What the fuck do I do? My mindset's all shit, blah, blah, blah. So what do we do about that? So I was writing in my journal this morning and I thought of some things that I thought were really kind of interesting that I've dealt with over the time. I know that for me, there's been times, if we think about the cycle of business, it kind of goes like, it's really, really slow. Then often we'll have a bit of a kind of steep growth, and then it can kind of come back a little bit and then go up and forth from there. But then it's kind of like this, right? And so at various different times, there's the things that I've been able to do have been things that have made sure that I wasn't going to end up resenting the very thing that I created. I didn't want to resent the business. I didn't want to resent it almost kind of like an entity where it wasn't giving me what I wanted. In relationships that you might have where, if your partner isn't doing what you want, or like maybe they're not behaving in the way that you want. It can be really quick and really easy as a knee-jerk, kind of not like a learned response, but a conditioned response to become resentful, right? We lay blame, we make it all about them. And, one of the things that I think we've really got to do is actually stop, have time, and take a bit of a look at ourselves first and foremost. No one, we can't change anyone. We don't want to ever change anyone either. The thing that we've got to remember is that people are people, and the only way that we can change them or help them to maybe see our point of view is to be resourceful. Otherwise, it ends up being clashing. So if you're looking at your business going, why are there no sales? Why aren't people buying? Why aren't I doing this thing? If you've got all of this kind of like resentful, negative, shitty, crusty, heavy, resenting kind of energy in you about your business, about wanting to show up, about wanting to be visible, obviously, about doing your live streams, about showing up for a coaching call, if you've got a coaching call. The second that you get like a message from a client and you're like, for fuck's sake, it's a really good time for you to say, stop, hold up, what the frick is going on, right? Because we don't want to be resentful at any point in time in our business, in our life, in our relationships, because that's the stuff that leads to like insidious like, I want to say distrust, but it's like, it's yucky, it's negative, it's not going to help you get what you want. You know, if you believe in anything, in terms of like quantum physics, quantum energy, or like attracts like, or anything like that, like if you're coming into your work, into your marketing, being like, oh, I've got to go and put a motherfucking social media post up, you know, blah, 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 that energy gets embedded in the post, right? And it's not going to help people to lift people, raise people up, and bring people in. It's just not. So your energy is everything. So what I wrote down, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got about 5 different things that I wrote out today. It was like, yeah, I reckon these are the things that I go through. I haven't documented this process for me, but I think that this is the stuff that I kind of do unconsciously these days. If I have any level of, you know, kind of angst kind of kick in. So the first thing that we've got to agree on is that everything starts with a decision. Right? So everything starts with a decision. If you're feeling resentful about your business, you have decided or agreed to be resentful about that business, right? Either consciously or unconsciously. If you're resentful about having to show up, if you're pissed off about having to provide recordings of programs that you've sold, you know, you've kind of decided that that's how it's going to be. So everything can change in the snap of a finger with a brand new decision. So that's just like the caveat to all of this. So the first thing that I would encourage you to have a look at is, what stories are you telling? So what stories are you telling about your mindset? Are you thinking like, oh, I'm feeling really unmotivated, I'm running on autopilot, I've got no clarity, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm stressed, you know, nothing I do works anyway, for fuck's sake, you know, I go and put these things up, no one comments, no one responds, no one clicks like why do I even freaking bother, right? That is a mindset issue. Yeah, that's a self-talk issue. So what stories are you telling yourself about all of that? You know, and then what you know, the extended step for that is like, where does that even come from? Is there any evidence to show that your story is not hitting the mark? Is there any evidence to say that your marketing isn't hitting the mark? Now, there might be, but then the resourceful human would go from a really strong mindset perspective, would go, okay, well, I'm not getting that, so what do I need to do and change, and how do I need to adapt? Who do I need to be in order to actually make this stuff happen, right? And then the second step that you want to have a look at is, what decisions are you consciously making? So this is where we start to look at self-sabotage in a little bit more depth. So if you're overwhelmed, usually the reason you're overwhelmed is you're refusing to make a choice to do something, right? So you're either choosing to not choose, or you're just not making a choice, right? So the second thing that you might be doing is, like, maybe you've got a bazillion ideas and you've got a freaking structure, which means that you need a plan. Maybe you don't know what to say. But the thing with not knowing what to say is that you'll learn how to do that the more you practice it, right? I was talking to my clients this morning at 6 a.m. and we were jabbering about all this stuff, and there was a question about lives and the structure. And I'm like, well, I don't really follow a structure, but the things that I always make sure I've got in there are the problems or the stress points, or the issue that you guys are dealing with. So in this instance, feeling unmotivated, no clarity, running on autopilot, mindset in the toilet, you know, is this even worth it? Should I be doing this? Should it be this hard? You know, all of that self-talk stuff. And then I look at the solution, being these steps that I'm talking you through. Then really the third thing is making sure that you know what it is that you can do next, right? So overwhelm is often cured by action, decision, and some structure, right? And doing. Often the overwhelm will dissipate when you start doing the thing that you need to do. There's usually something that you're putting off. So what decisions are you consciously making? It might be that you're consciously deciding to not plan because maybe planning's not for you. Or maybe you're deciding to fly by the seat of your pants, but flying by the seat of the pants isn't really for you either, right? So what decisions are you consciously making? And then this is a big one, you guys, and it requires a lot of in-depth or investigation, discovery, I suppose, and willingness to be really honest with yourself. What about unconsciously? What decisions are you making unconsciously? And one of the best things to do in order to work out what that is to have a look at your patterns. So if I look at my planner, for instance, there are some things on there, like putting together a new free resource for you guys. I keep moving that. I've been moving that from week to week to week to week. So I haven't consciously thought, well, I'm not going to go and create a new free thing because I'm too busy. I'm doing all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. But unconsciously, I've decided to not go and do that. So is that is that holding me back? Well, it's holding you back, so therefore it's holding me back. Would it be adding really great value into the market? Yes, of course it would. So, unconsciously I've decided to hold back for whatever reason that might be. So then it's like going and thinking like, okay, what else is going on there? Why am I doing that? Am I just not jazzed about it? Is it not aligned? What's going on? How annoying is my hair? Freaking annoying. Anywho, we're still in hair rehab. I bought some, just as an aside, and then I'll get on to step 4. I bought a couple of ponytail hair pieces that I just need to flare, that I'm just going to wash and tone and do some things, and then I'm going to play with them this week. So if you see me with like long locks, make sure you say something because it'll be fun. Step number 4 is, what are you agreeing to? Okay. So from a mindset perspective, if you can be agreeing with yourself, you can be agreeing with your self-talk. If you're sitting there feeling like an imposter, which I know many of us deal with at various different levels and at various different times. If you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I've got to go and do this, but I'm just going to go and do this first. How are you letting yourself off the hook, or what are you agreeing to? Are you agreeing to that this is okay, that close enough is good enough? What are you agreeing to? What are you settling for? And I think the last thing is like the patterns, is for you to have a look at the patterns and see what's going on there, and then see what agreements you've got in place and all this kind of thing. And then the kicker. Right, so you work out all of that, you go through all of that, and then the next thing that you've got to do is change your state. So you've got to change your state, make a different decision, do something different, and ideally act on the things that you're probably most afraid of. Now, I know a lot of you are really afraid of doing live streams. If that is the thing that you're most afraid of, go right now, as soon as I finish, go jump on your page, go live, tell the whole world that you're feeling really nervous, that you're feeling really awkward, and that just to bear with you, and that with practice, you'll get better, you promise, right? What is it that ask questions? What do you guys want to hear from me? And, if people comment, that's great. And if they don't, that's great. If they don't comment and say hi or click the like or the love button or whatever, then that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're not sitting there going like, yep, I'm with you. Yes, this makes total sense. Why did I think about this before? This is so simple. There are people don't always visibly engage with you. Visible, I mean commenting, clicking like, clicking the love hearts, and messaging you and that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean it's not going on in their head. So don't base your success on a vanity metric, okay? Don't base your success on an engagement, on a visible engagement thing. So that's how you can really tweak your mindset. So first of all, though, what stories are you telling? What decisions are you consciously making? What decisions are you unconsciously making? What are you agreeing to? What are the patterns? And then the solution is to change your state, rock it out, remember how fucking awesome you are. And, if you're feeling unmotivated, the cure for unmotivation is to get into action, right? Hey, Kelly, the key to no clarity is to get fucking clarity. So make a plan, decide on your course of action. Think about the 3 or the 4 things that you can do today, right now, to help shift your state. If you feel like you've been running on autopilot, hint, you're probably freaking bored, and you need to find a way to unleash you out into the world so that the people can see you in all of your glory with all of the color and the black and white, all of the whatever it is that your personality is. And so that they can then go, oh, finally, she's freaking shown up. I've been waiting for her. Thank God. Right? That's really the only way to get any of that is by taking action, making the decision that enough is enough, line in the fucking sand, and that you're going to get out there and you're going to do it. Because otherwise you're invisible. No one knows who you are. You probably won't get clients. The unmotivation will be like this perpetual cycle that you'll have no clarity. You will keep running on autopilot and you'll be bored shitless. And then you go, why the fuck am I doing this? You know, it's not worth it. This is just not worth it. And then that has other consequences, right? So we don't want to be in that space. So there you go, my friends. This is one of the things that we are talking about in Who Runs the World, which starts on Tuesday. I am crazy excited about that. The link for you to find out more about that is right there, right now. Now, what we're doing in that, it's a 7-day live program, which does mean that we're running over the weekend. So we run Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And we're really looking at, one of the things that I believe in is like I said, like changing your state, getting into massive action. But first of all, we've got to clear the slate. And it's a little bit like what we've talked about today. You know, we've really got to take a look at anything that is getting in the way and then clear it from our money mindset, from our action mindset, from our self-sabotage stuff, from the who the fuck we are type stuff, and then go, all right, either a literal or a metaphoric costume change where we're like Shazam, and then bang, you know, you can get up there and unleash you into the world and really ramp shit up. So that's the whole crux of Who Runs the World. It's an energy thing, right? But it's really helping you to step into the person that you are, right? It's not even who you need to be. You kind of need to be you. So I suppose it's who you need to be, but it's more about you stepping into you unleashing you into the world in all of your glory so that you can run the world. And when I say run the world, I mean run your world from a place of power, from a place of confidence, from a place of where everybody thrives and benefits, because you are every day stepping more and more into you, unleashing more of you into the world and helping a hell of a lot of people along the way with your marketing, with your social media, with your visibility efforts, with everything that you're doing. So we start Tuesday. There are 8 sleeps to go. I am very, very excited about it. It's super cheap. Which I was talking to one of my best friends about this actually, and she's like, I think you're missing a 1 at the start. I think it should be like $11.97. And I said, no, $11.47. So no, $150, $147. That's just what my journal told me it needed to be, which sounds really weird. I know that sounds really weird, but yeah, $147 for a full 7 days. You can go VIP if you'd like. It's $247. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're obviously going to be doing the work, because that's really important as well. But most of all, it's all about ramping you up and kickstarting the year. So my friends, have a fantastic, productive, super fun Monday. Get out there, go help some people, have a whole lot of fun doing it. And remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye.